Welcome, Diecast fans. I'm Tom Spinners-Watson. And I'm Frankie Yuri Gibbs. And welcome to episode 8 of season 2 of the Canyon Outlaws. A few changes around on the list last week, and Head Start in particular with a lucky break last week, holding on to the gatekeeper spot and then managing to work his way out of there. Yeah, the only person not to get knocked off the list so far. Alright, we've got Trigger driven by Cam going up against Betsy driven by Captain America, and we've got Twinkle Toes driven by Harry SP going up against Unicorn Claw to begin with. Now, Captain America was a bit late to the party, only arriving a couple of weeks ago, so he's missed a fair amount of the racing, but he is going up against a Diecast heavyweight and Cam driving Trigger. And Trigger there going way too hot, and Tobogganelli gets up on the sidewall. Betsy almost managed to get around, but Cam somehow driving in reverse managed to hold off the challenge, and he is going to take the first win of the night. Now with Cam coming from Blue Line Racing, we know that they're lightning quick, but boy, did he have trouble with that corner. He's so lucky he didn't just launch himself right off the track. He also did a great job there of holding out Captain America. That challenge could have ended his race right there. Well, not only that, he beat his previous best time, and his best time is 13.789. Okay, on to the next wannabe race. It's Unicorn Claw driven by Chickadee going up against Twinkle Toes driven by Harry SP. These two have clashed before in some of the early races, and so far Twinkle Toes has had the slightly quicker time, but they seem pretty evenly matched tonight. Twinkle Toes holding a solid lead here, not under too much pressure from Unicorn Claw, and Twinkle Toes takes the win. Some nice driving there. Harry actually kept his head together, didn't do any fancy dance moves on the way down the track, and picked up the win. Now can he take down Trigger? Well, Trigger definitely the quicker of the two cars, but he hasn't really been able to get that power down to the ground, or he's lost it in a couple of corners. But he's looking pretty solid so far as they go through Boganelli. No issues there at all. Cam settling into a comfortable lead here. Starts to go sideways into Big Kahuna corner. Both drivers spin out, but Cam gets it together and will take the win. And Harry manages to get Twinkle Toes under control and cross the line, but the win goes to Triggered, and we get to see if he can take down the list.
If you want a custom, hand-drawn image of your favourite ride, then head over to bigkahunas.com and check out what we do. Cars, trucks, bikes, no matter what your ride, we'll draw it.
So Strike in the hot seat tonight. Can he hold off Triggered, or is he going to get knocked off the list? I dare say his palms are a bit sweaty right now, but you never know. Anything can happen at the Canyon, and this track has been brutal to fast cars before. That's right, it's not always about being the fastest, it's about getting that power down and staying straight. And if you can stay off the sidewalls, that just enhances your speed as well. Alright, time for Cam's big moment. It's his first chance challenging properly for the list. Can he take down Blue Thunder? Well, Strike is pretty quick, it's just whether he holds his nerve. And Cam gets spun around going into Boganelli, pedals the car in reverse, it spins it back around, that throws out Strike, and Cam spinning out again, hits the sidewall hard, and here comes Strike charging hard. He tries to get around him, but he cannot do it. Cam very lucky there. We were saying before, it's all about control, and he seemed to be all over the track right at the start there, spinning around, and he spun around again on the way down, and then he had all sorts of trouble going into Big Kahuna corner here. That let Blue Thunder catch right up to him, and it could have been all over for Cam right there, but luckily that thing is so quick, he managed to get the power down again and hold on for the win. But very lucky for him. Yeah, and not so lucky for Strike driving Blue Thunder. He is now off the list and will join the Wannabes, and now Triggered gets to take on Phoenix's revenge. This will be a bit of a grudge match, as these two raced a couple of episodes ago and Tuco took him out. Well, Cam takes an early lead. Tuco tucks right in on his tail. These two basically neck and neck. Triggered trying to open up some space here, but Tuco not out of it yet. Triggered laying down a fantastic time. Oh my God! That's a sub 13. What an incredible drive there. We have wondered if it was possible for anybody to go sub 13. Marcus Firegon laid down a flat 13 and held that track record for months and months and months. And Triggered from Blue Line Racing proves why he is one of the top dogs in Diecast racing. Not only beats the previous track record and goes sub 13, he smashes it. What an unbelievable run there from Cam driving Triggered. I've said all along that that thing is quick, and he finally got the power down. Look at that, a 12.856. He's absolutely smashed all the other drivers, and I reckon that time will stand forever on this track. I don't see anybody beating that. Now, I gotta say, Tuco was also right on his tail as they crossed the finish, so he also laid down a great time. But what a drive from Cam. How nervous is Vincent Van Gogh going to be now? Oh yeah, he's going to push hard here. Oh, and down he goes. He tries way too hard to catch up to Cam. And Cam now looks like he's maybe having some issues. He's pulling to the right quite a bit there. That's unusual. And even though Cam was bouncing off the walls a bit there, he still laid down a 13.605, which is way faster than most of the other drivers. But unfortunately there for Vincent Van Gogh, just trying too hard to keep up and slammed into the wall, and that was enough to finish him. So Trigger now starting to chew his way through the list, and he gets to take on the previous track champion, Eclipse, driven by Andy Moon. Of all the drivers this season, Andy's probably the only one that can stand up to him speed-wise. They're pretty close in the tunnel. Trigger just eking out a slight lead as they go into Bogan Alley, but he starts to open up. He spins around. Andy smashes into him. Cam is all over the place since he laid down that speed run. And I don't think that crash has really helped him. He seemed to be pulling hard to the right there. But Andy Moon does cross the line eventually, but just far too late to do any good. And look at Trigger there. He got some air coming out of that second dog leg, then seemed to get hooked on the track before Andy slammed into him. But luckily he was able to continue and takes the win. So it looks like Cam's car may have taken some punishment in the last couple of races, but not enough to slow him down completely as he takes down Eclipse. Now he gets to take on Boxer driving Purple Haze. If Cam's worried about his car at all, he's definitely going to want to stay away from Boxer because we know he plays a bit dirty. Well, he seems to be listening to you as he opens up a massive lead already, although he starts to go backwards. He's hooked on the track again. Boxer smashes into the side of him. Triggered apparently having some steering issues here as he bounces off the side of the track. He is going to chalk up another win, but that car seems to be taking some damage. Well, to be fair, mate, he could retire now and still be a track champion because no one's going to touch his actual quickest time. Now, you were saying Boxer plays dirty, but Moose Knuckle so far has got two bad moves named after him because he's taken out a couple of drivers. There's nothing wrong with a Moose Knuckle Duster or a Bullwinkle, mate. That's just part of racing. Looked like Moose Knuckle was trying to have a crack at Trigger there, but they keep it clean as they exit Bogan Alley. Now Trigger's starting to fishtail a bit. Here comes Moose Knuckle, gives him a tap from behind, but not enough to spin him out, and Cam is going to chalk up another win for tonight. Even with the steering issues, mate, he's knocking them down like a schooner on a hot day. Well, after that win, he moves into the top half of the list, now in number 5 as he takes on Wally Champ driving Landshark. Things get pretty serious from here on out. These top drivers definitely aren't here to muck around. That's true, but Cam's best time is a full second faster than Wally Champ's, although at the moment Wally Champ taking the lead. With those steering issues, maybe Cam's decided to just take it a little bit easy. He wants to nurse the car through. There's still a good amount of racing to go yet. Well, that may well be the case as Wally Champ takes an easy win there. I was not expecting that. I don't know that it was that easy for Wally. That time was only just a little bit slower than his best time, so he was obviously pushing it for him. I think it was just Triggered was taking it easy. All right, so Landshark holds on to the number 4 spot and takes on the number 3 Stinger, driven by Iron Poet. So far this season, Stinger's had a lot of last-minute overtakes. I wonder if he's got another one in him. Well, they're neck and neck into Bogan Alley. Oh, and Stinger goes sideways. Wally Champ just nudging him enough to pit maneuver him basically, so Wally Champ now just taking an easy run all the way to the finish. Iron Poet's going to be kicking himself after that one. It looks like he stood on the brakes here because he was worried about getting pushed into the sidewall, and that just put him into a massive slide, and unfortunately he hooked himself up in Bogan Alley, and that was his race done. So Wally Champ starting to move back up the list. He's kind of hovered around the top of the list so far, but hasn't really managed to secure a spot long term. Well, going up against the Beavermobile, he's going to want to get out really quick, otherwise if he gets stuck in behind, he's really going to have trouble getting past the Beaver. Wally Champ with a very slight lead as they go into Bogan Alley. Beavermobile gives him a tap from behind. Wally Champ keeping it clean though, and he is going to take an easy run all the way to the finish. I'm not even sure if Beavermobile is still going. No, don't worry, mate. Nitro's still going. There he is. He was just a long way behind. After this attempted beaver kiss. Stop it. Well, that's what it was. It was like a gentle little peck on the rear end. Moving on, Wally Champ takes the win. Still hasn't beaten his best time yet, but it seems to be working for him so far as he now moves into the number 2 spot and he gets to take on the reigning champ, Munted. It was great to see Munted take back the top spot last week. That's where he started the season, and I guess he's hoping to finish there as well. And these two are neck and neck out of the tunnel, nose to nose into Bogan Alley, and Wally Champ performing a very gentle moose knuckle duster there takes Munted out. To be honest, I think that was a sign of respect that he did it gently. He didn't want to hurt Munted, he just wanted to hold on to the lead and take that number 1 spot. See, if you look at the replay, Wally Champ just eased him into the wall and flipped him around rather than slamming him to the wall like a proper moose knuckle duster. Well, gentle or not, it was enough to take out the reigning champ and claim the number 1 spot on the list. Well, Hawthorne Sung definitely won't be overly happy about that one, but he's got another 4 weeks to get that top spot back. Well, congratulations Wally Champ for taking the top spot tonight. However, I think the night belongs to Cam from Blue Line Racing after that insane speed run. Oh, it was so good. Well, we hope you've enjoyed tonight as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. If you have, leave us a comment. And if you haven't enjoyed it, also leave us a comment. And don't forget to dislike the video. Alright, that's enough from us tonight. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Tom Spanners Watson. He's Frank the Guru Gibbs. We look forward to seeing you next time.